charged in the Georgia case. What is remarkable is how Donald Trump continues to attract people to do his bidding, given the consequences for many of them. How is he able to do that?
Well, we've in fact seen people go to prison for Donald Trump. People who need to feel attached to something important will simply surrender their integrity, if they had any in the first place, in order to be close to Donald. You know, Donald has always said, I hire the best people, the very best people. Well, occasionally he does get the very best people. They leave. The people he attracts are the absolute worst, including all of these lawyers who tried to overthrow our government and commit other crimes on Donald's behalf.
We're also learning tonight that Mike Lindell of My Pillow has reportedly been kicked out of a factory in Minnesota for failing to pay at least $200,000 in rent. We know he's facing some major financial repercussions for his election conspiracy theories. He owes millions in unpaid fees to his lawyers, also to a software engineer who debunked his data. Lindell telling the AP that the business, on the heels of being kicked out of the factory, is just fine. It's just shifting. He's still pushing these election lies. I mean, as we look at it, is it surprising to you that we are at this point at all?
No, because once people get into a cult, and I've written several exposés in my career of cults, they lose all perspective and they only see things through the lens of the cult. Lindell is a good example of how Trump and many of the people around him are imprudent. They don't pay their bills. They take big risks. Lindell has been traveling all over the country in his private jet instead of paying his rent, is a perfectly good example.
It's remarkable to see the way that the former president is continuing to try to raise money. I mean, very creative. You have to give him points for creativity. The latest is the God Bless the USA Bible, which he is hawking for $60. Donald Trump saying in a video it's his favorite book, and it's being advertised as the only Bible endorsed by President Trump. There were, of course, also the golden Never Surrender $400 high tops. Those sold out. And now a Victory 47 fragrance line you can pre-order, $100 a bottle. What do you think is next? And I actually mean that as a serious question. What do you think is next? What do you think people will buy?
Well, these stunts by Donald are not really intended to bring in a lot of money. There were only a few hundred of the shoes, for example, which quickly went on sale for a quarter of what he wanted to charge for them. They're part of his effort to persuade people he really is a Christian, despite having repeatedly called Christians fools, idiots, and schmucks in the past. And to come up with anything that will continue to get us in the news business to follow him and pay attention to him by saying wild and outlandish things. The Bible may be an effort by him to try and broaden his base a little bit. He's mostly been focused on deepening his base, not broadening it. This perhaps is an effort to broaden it, although to anyone who's an actual Christian, it should be blasphemous.
David K. Johnson, really appreciate your insight tonight. Thank you.